We are here today to talk about the events that have transpired over the past week. The past week revealed the true face of the administration's immigration enforcement in our city, and the entire world was able to witness that. On Tuesday, federal immigration agents raided an apartment building in the South Shore community in the middle of the night. This building was managed by a slumlord that people have all been clear about. The city actually sued the owner in February over 15 building code violations. The residents were dealing with deplorable conditions already, and this was before ICE trampled on them. But when they came in the middle of the night, they terrorized the families that were living there. There were children who were without clothing. They were zip-tied, taken outside at 3 o'clock in the morning. A senior resident, an American citizen, with no warrants, was taken outside and handcuffed for 3 hours. Doors were blown off their hinges, walls were broken through. Immigration agents coming from Black Hawk helicopters to set up snipers on nearby buildings. This is America. One resident described the situation plainly, and I quote, "They had immigrants in one van and black people in another van." This raid wasn't about public safety. It was about and it's certainly not about immigration.
Since when? Let me get this straight. So the same politicians who created this immigration mess dumped it into already struggling black communities, ignored the slumlords, let buildings rot, and turned a blind eye for years are now crying foul because ICE finally showed up and did their job. Now it's oppression, tyranny, and snipers on rooftops. Really? So since when did enforcing the law become controversial? Since y'all figured out that protecting illegal migrants gets you more votes than protecting your own citizens. That's when. That's the truth, family. Brandon Johnson and his buddies have the audacity to pretend like they're standing up for the community when they've been selling it out piece by piece, flooding neighborhoods with unvetted migrants, diverting resources, ignoring crime, and now playing defense attorney for people who shouldn't be here in the first place. Meanwhile, ICE finally steps in, remove criminals, and suddenly we're supposed to be outraged because some doors got kicked in? Nah, I'm not going for it. What about the people who've been living in fear because of the chaos these policies created? What about the gang members Trump had to come in and clean up after y'all failed to do anything? They're passing executive orders making ICE-free zones like this is some kind of daycare. Let's continue.
This was about a show of authoritarianism, a forceful display of tyranny. They sent a clear message to all Chicagoans. They said, "We do not respect your rights. We can do anything we want and we will film it and put it on social media." The very next day, ICE agents chased people outside of a homeless shelter on the south side and then caused a car accident on the west side. Immigration agents put a young black man in a chokehold on the side of the street in East Garfield Park. Witnesses, one of which you will hear from this morning, bravely filmed the interaction, eventually leading to this person's release. On Friday, agents dispersed tear gas in the middle of a busy city street. Chicagoans were hit with chemical agents while walking their children home from school. A couple ran from tear gas with a 2-year-old child in their care. Agents went into the Humboldt Park Health Center and detained a sitting elected official, Alder Jessie Fuentes of the 26th Ward, because she simply requested to see a warrant. On Saturday, they escalated even further by shooting a U.S. citizen. They claimed it was defensive fire. But frankly, we cannot trust anything that comes out of the administration. It was only a few short weeks ago that they claimed officers were severely injured in the killing of Mr. Villegas Gonzalez in Franklin Park, A Sun-Times investigation found that the agent said on a body camera footage that
I done heard enough. I done heard enough. Family, what I am going to say is newsflash. Federal law is greater than silly law. Your parking lots, libraries, and parks are not sanctuary hubs for fugitives. And the craziest part is they're more worried about the feelings of people here illegally than the safety of tax-paying Americans. This ain't leadership, it's a circus. It's a circus, and if you voted for these clowns, then guess what? The joke's on you. They're using your outrage as a political currency while your schools crumble, your neighborhoods fall apart, and you got to wake up. This ain't about justice. It's about optics, votes, and control. Don't let the smoke and mirrors fool you, man.
there was, in fact, nothing major. We have a rogue, reckless group of heavily armed mass individuals roaming throughout our city that are not accountable to the people of Chicago. Their actions put all Chicagoans at risk. When protesters confronted federal immigration agents in Brighton Park on Saturday, they were met with pepper balls and more repression. CPD responded to attempt to de-escalate the situation, and ICE tear gassed our police officers. Let me be clear. Tear gassing the women and men who serve as Chicago Police Department officers is not how we make our city safer. I'm calling for a full investigation into this incident and into all of the brutality.
I'm really done now. An investigation. Hold up. Now all of a sudden y'all care about what's happening in these buildings. Now you care about families being terrorized? Where was all this energy when those same families were living in third world conditions under slumlords that you know about for years? Again, don't sit here and act like brand new Brandon Johnson, like the city didn't literally sue the landlord like he's saying for months ago for 15 building code violations. Y'all knew the place was rat-infested disaster zone, and y'all did nothing. Not a press conference, not a policy, not a peep. But now the ICE is there to enforce federal immigration law. Suddenly, now you want to do an investigation. Come on, bro. What is this, Narcos? Chicago edition? Y'all treating law enforcement like they kicked in the doors of a preschool. They went into a known problem area to round people up who shouldn't be in the country in the first place. That's accountability. And let's be honest, this situation wasn't dropped from the sky because Brandon Johnson and the whole circus act behind him created this chaos. Don't let this man hop on a podium now pretending to be hero, and these folks have been actively inviting this crisis the whole time. They rolled out the welcome mat for illegal migrants, dropped them off in black communities, not the suburbs, not downtown, but straight in the hood, and then went radio silent while the crime went up. Schools got overcrowded and resources got snatched from American citizens. And that's the reality. They know it. He know what he doing. They know what they doing. This is intentional. This ain't incompetence at this point. And now they want to cry because ICE pulled up to clean up his mess as a mayor. He got to be the worst mayor in history. The worst mayor overseeing a big city in history. This man spent hundreds of millions on people who aren't supposed to be here, while your own constituents are dodging bullets, dealing with broken heat in winter, and trying to find decent schools. But yeah, sure, let's cry over zip ties and pretend like America's the villain here. Get out of here with that, man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This is wild.